The secret to auditioning, okay? Here is the secret to auditioning, and it may not be what you think it is. The secret to auditioning is don't try and be somebody else. Don't pretend to be somebody else. You are enough, you are enough, you are enough. And even if the CD doesn't say this in the breakdowns or they don't tell you this, the CD wants to see the real you. They want to see the actual human being because that's the only human being there is to see. There is no character except your character, the character that you have. I know a lot of actors will say like, oh, the joy of acting is I get to become other people. I get to be someone else, know what it's like to be in someone else's skin. Well, that's not true. I hate to burst the bubble of people, but you know, when I fell in love with acting at the age of 6 and I did elementary school plays and I played Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, to become an old withered man, to know what it's like to be in the soul of a 80-year-old man. No, I didn't find out what it was like to be in the soul of an 80-year-old man, and I never will until I'm 80 years old, and then it'll be me, and it'll be different than anybody else. Here's the thing, acting is a magic trick. The audition is a magic trick. It's an illusion, but it's an illusion based on truth. It's not a deception. It's truth to create truth, right? The suspension of disbelief doesn't happen in you, the mind of the actor. It happens in the viewer, the CD, the audience. If you have one very specific action that you're going after with a real human being, with the actual reader, or if there is no reader, then we can use someone in our mind, but it wants to be someone very personal to us, and it wants to be a doable action. Like if I have a reader, if I decide the action I'm going to play that I feel will match the stakes and tone of that audition scene and be fun for me. Let's say it's, I'm gonna get a loved one to do the right thing, right? That's the action I'm gonna play. And I'm imagining a very specific actual friend of mine who, not in real life, but I can imagine that he hit bottom on booze and drugs, and I'm trying to get him to do the right thing and check himself into rehab. So I can really go after it with the reader in the way that I would do that. Like, let's say I'm playing a cop, a good cop in the audition, and I'm trying to get a criminal to confess. Whoa, I just tripped a little bit. And I'm trying to get a criminal to confess, right? And the lines are something like, hey man, we know you did it, just confess. It'll go easier on you. Just tell me the truth. Let's say those are the lines of the audition scene, and my action is to get someone to do the right thing. And I'm imagining this very good friend of mine is scared to go to rehab. Well, I can actually picture him in my mind. I can be looking into camera, but I can see my friend James, and I can do this improv where I'm really going to try to get my friend James to go into rehab, imagining he's hit this bottom. Look, I love you like a brother, and I relate deeply. I know you know this, but you need to hear me say it. I relate deeply to what you're going through. And if you check yourself into that facility and really are willing and ask for help, your life is gonna frickin' change, man. It's gonna be unbelievable. Look, we know you did it. Just confess, okay? Just tell me the truth, and it'll go easier on you. And I can loop it. I can stay on this action and I can loop that audition scene. Hey man, look, we know you did it. Just confess. Tell us the truth. Tell me the truth. And it'll go easier on you. So I'm not pretending to be the cop when I do that. I'm not like, what's the cop's backstory, right? Oh, I grew up in the mean streets and then became a cop. No, if I'm trying to be somebody else, that's gonna get in the way of the magic trick. I don't have to conjure and make up different attributes, my humanity, my love, my integrity, my passion, my fear. If I do something real, And I imperfectly, when I was doing that demonstration for y'all, imperfectly, I'm really seeing my friend in here, not out here, because we don't see people out here, seeing him here and really attempting to get him to do the right thing. And when I snapped my fingers, I just went into the lines of the script. I'm not trying to be anybody else. And if we have a reader, it's even better, because I can just warm up with that as if in my mind, and then I can look the reader in the eye and say the lines of the script. But really, I'm just trying to get the reader to do the right thing, like actually by looking into that human being's eyes and seeing what's going on in them, with them. The impulses not come from my ideas about the script or pre-planned character choices. I want the impulses to come in the moment from the actual human being that I'm actually reading with. We want the audition to be a recordation, a recording of the truth of me, Greg, really doing something. And then, because of the lines I'm saying, because of what people know about the script when I'm on set, because of the background and the cop station and, you know, all that stuff, it creates this illusion. It creates an illusion, and the audience is delighted. They never really think I'm a cop, just like you never really think the magician really made a rabbit come out of the hat. You know it's a trick, but a good magician, you're like, man, part of my mind was like, oh my God, I really think he did that. I know he didn't, but man, it was delightful to be tricked like that. That's what acting is. That's what the audition is. You are enough. You don't have to pretend you're anybody else. Your life history, your pain, your struggle, your brokenness, your beauty, your compassion, this is all enough. This is what we want to see at the audition. This will create the illusion of character. You are enough. Let it rip.